Does anybody but me feel like the world has genuinely just gone a little bit not job bob at the minute? Because I'm really, I don't know. I feel like CERN have switched on the hard-on collider and we've been thrust into an alternate reality at this point. Like nothing's making sense anymore. Like nothing's even trying to be made to make sense anymore. So I thought I'd talk about it. Before I do, quick disclaimer, I swear a lot. Also, these are just my opinions. There may be some facts in there, but don't take my word as fact. Do not take me as some kind of truth person. It's just my opinions, right? The truth can be found out there. I've looked, I've seen it, I'm giving my opinion on it. So let's start with Partygate, right? Because this is proof, right, at the minute. Obviously the last 2 years, don't think I need to tell you what I'm talking about when I say the last 2 years, have been utterly mental, right? What we've lived through this 2 years of what we've lived through. And yeah, it in itself was mental, and it drove people mental, and people took their own lives because they were put in their houses and not let out, and they had mental health problems to start with. People killed each other because they didn't regularly get on, and they were forced to anyway. This is by the by. This is nothing to do with it. But whilst all this was going on, Boris Johnson and his Johnson-y friends were having parties. Whilst we couldn't visit our loved ones in hospital, say goodbye when they passed, we couldn't go out and have a drink at Christmas. We couldn't go around each other's houses. Like, I'm not talking about me here. If they're not going to prosecute them for that, it don't really matter now if I tell you I've never worn a bloody mask and I've never social distanced and I've just didn't listen to it. And I think it's the only reason I've got some semblance of sanity. Some semblance of sanity, Cash. At the minute, she says, I don't think so. Anyway, so I didn't do it, but neither did they. Now, obviously, the public are rightfully upset about that, although Boris Johnson's telling everybody on the TV that no, we're not upset about that. We're upset that he's not getting Brexit done right now and he needs another booster rollout, and you know what I mean? He's like, stands there and lies, stands there at his little box in Parliament and lies, like the time that he stood there and he said there were no parties, and even if there were parties, I didn't go to them. Then we've got pictures of him at parties. He lied. That was not the truth. And the other week, some bloke got kicked out of Parliament for saying you lied. You stood there and lied, which he did do. Oh, my son's back from work. So that is proof he lied. Obviously, the man is a liar anyway. He got sacked from 3 different jobs, I think, for lying, right? And yet, we're meant to believe him when he stands there and says there weren't any parties, and if there were any parties, I weren't at them. We're meant to stand there when he stands there and says that tests don't work on 93% of occasions. They're only accurate. The tests are only accurate 7% of the time. Right? We stood there. We listened to that. We carried on getting bloody tests. He stood there on TV. He said, so the jabs, they don't stop you catching it and they don't stop you passing it on, so go out and get your booster. And we did. Not me, but humanity as a whole, the British public did. Even though this man is now proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be a liar, we believed him. Now what's he doing? Now it's bloody AIDS. Now, let me go back with you on a little history lesson. I was around, I know I'm very old, but I was a teenager when the first AIDS scare came round. They had an AIDS benefit, I think, not quite sure. And they basically did this TV show to scare the living shit out of every man, woman and child in the country. I was one of those children. It scared the living shit out of me. absolutely petrified for most of my adult life, I were. Because they got to me when I was young. And this chap was saying he got a diagram, and he got a little stick man and 2 little stick men underneath that, and it's like, and if he has sex with these 2 people, then they'll get infected with AIDS, and then there was 2 people underneath that, and then they all had 2 people underneath them, and they all had 2 people underneath them, and so on and so on and so on. Just this exponential explosion of AIDS. And they told you it would kill you. You get AIDS, you die, and it's a nasty death. And they said, if you but the majority of it they blamed on gay men and druggies who share needles. Dirty. They made it out to be a dirty disease. If you get AIDS, you're a bad person. Look, you bummed somebody, you know, you jacked up with a tramp, I don't know, but they made it out to be so fucking petrifying. And like I say, I was absolutely petrified of it for years, right? Now it's coming out. It's got a Mary Poppins sugar-coating cover on it. Go out and get your HIV test, kids. Don't you worry, it's not a life sentence. You're just going to have to take 3 drugs for the rest of your life, a combination of 3 drugs for the rest of your life to stop you dying, some of which are probably, allegedly, made by Pfizer. And yeah, so go and out and get your test. Then all you got to do, little pinprick on your finger, send it off to a lab. Somebody who could be diagnosing somebody's cancer, some lab technician, is going to work on old Doreen from down the street who ain't had it up her for the last 14 years and has certainly never used a needle, except for the ones that she gets for her rheumatoid arthritis, and she's got a sharp spin for that. Sorry. Waffling again. But literally now it's you go out, do your bit. Like, we've all got to do our fucking bit, right? They ain't doing anything but raking in the cash and laughing their fucking heads off at how easy we are to control. How much more AIDS has just come out of the fucking blue. Now, chat to a conspiracy theory. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want the video taken down, but chat to your friendly local conspiracy theorist and ask them why, or you can message me personally, ask somebody why all of a sudden AIDS has come back on the scene after this 2 years. Because trust me, it ties in, and that's why AIDS has just been boom. It's just out there. It's just get your AIDS test, woohoo! Get your AIDS test, everybody. Apparently, some 70-year-old bloody bloke's got it. Been diagnosed with AIDS. Been with his wife for fucking ever. Never used a dirty needle. It's like you are going to see regular, everyday people. If you've believed them for the last 2 years, it could well be you. Get AIDS and spend the rest of your life lining Big Pharma's pockets. But if you didn't listen to them at the beginning, you're probably going to be safe. Unless you have unprotected sex with somebody who did believe them and went down there. Like, literally, untainted sperm is going to be the gold of the future, mate. If your kids haven't listened to them this last 2 years, don't change now, because they're going to be getting for a fortune when they're older. Don't let them come for the kids. There's no need for it to come to the kids. Again, they told us masks don't work. We believe them when they said that they did, when they changed their minds, when they're like, no, actually, we need them masked up. They're talking to each other. Look, fuck now. And we believe them when they said kids are in no danger, but we still sent their poor little sods out to school with masks on every day. And then you got Piers Morgan, don't do me any harm. It doesn't do that. It builds character. No, it means they're frightened to speak to people and they don't have the art of communication. Thus far, when they leave school, they'll be easier to control by the people who don't fucking wear masks, who have over 16 parties, while people are out there fucking dying. It isn't rocket science. It really is not rocket science. We're just not connecting. The dots are like this at the point. The dots are like this at the point. And we're still not connecting them. And if AIDS doesn't work, they'll bring out another thing. They've got this, is it Lassa fever? One of the main symptoms of Lassa fever is excessive vaginal bleeding. You know what that is also a symptom of? For taking something that's related to the last 2 years. Because I've had friends that have come to me after they've participated and said, I participated and literally I won't stop bleeding. One girl got a cyst on her ovary. Literally, that is a side effect of having this thing that they made in the last 2 years. And now they're coming out and saying, oh, Lassa fever. Also got the same side effect. Must be that then. Like literally the amount of things that are coming out AIDS, which a little bit of is an ingredient in the last 2 years. The thing from the last 2 years. Though, cryptic though it might be in places, like I said, I'm just rambling, it's just my opinion, but these people are provable liars. And people have died because of their lies. And they're going to continue. And now, in the next few years, oh, it's going to get messy. I don't want to think about it. It is going to get messy. Oh, messy. That just reminded me. Footballers. If there's another dot that people don't connect. You know, the footballers who are all just healthy, fit gazers in their late teens, early 20s, dropping down with myocarditis. Tell me a year pre-2021 where you'd heard the word myocarditis more than once a week. I'd never heard of it. I hadn't heard of it at all pre-2021, maybe the end of 2020. It's everywhere now. Everybody's got it's the fashion. Yeah, just changing your duvet cover will give you a heart attack or a stroke. Eating healthy breakfasts will give you a heart attack or a stroke. If you breathe too much, my personal favourite, that one, if you breathe too much, that can cause a heart attack and stroke. Literally, they are just throwing lie after bullshit at us. And trust me when I tell you that they are laughing. They even do it in Parliament. They even sit there and they're laughing at us, not just each other. They're laughing at us because we are doing whatever, you know, and you know they've sat there with their gin and Dubonnie behind the heavy oak doors, puffing on a big cigar, saying, oh, what should we say to them now? And it's like, oh, I know, let's bring AIDS back. Oh, fuck off, never fall for that. AIDS just coming out of nowhere. It's like, mate, watch him. And we did. There are people getting AIDS tests now who haven't been sleeping around or using dirty needles. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Like, it's making no sense. It's making no sense. We've got to get together and do something about it. Between ourselves, like, we don't have to do nothing, you know, not protest route like that. Just talk to each other, man. Just talk to each other. Understand we've been lied to and work out between us a way that we can put it right. Get in little groups. Have church hall meetings. Invite people around to your living room. Just sit and discuss shit nicely. It's their job to make us angry with each other. We can work above that. We can work together. When we realise that we've all got the same common enemy and that their time is done and they need to go, then we can do something about it. Who's with me? Hit me up, kids. Hit me up. Bye.